What's up, guys? We're here doing some ZF on my Paladin tank. Having a lot of fun with the Paladin tank, except for one fact, which is, for some fucking reason, every healer I'm getting is sucking the most amount of dick that I can even physically imagine. It's ridiculous. I don't know about this one. I just got in here. Might be amazing. I had two monk healers back to back in Dire Maul, and both were just absolutely horrendous. I'm not too sure what was going on, but they seem to be just doing the channel spell. I don't know what the channel spell is called. Fucking Mistweed. I literally have no idea what it's called. But all they were doing were that one spell and not doing anything else. And they fucking just stood there and watched me die 1,000 times. And a paladin can heal themselves a fair amount, so I'm like doing a shitload of healing myself, trying to keep myself alive. And there's just these horrible healers doing absolutely fucking nothing. But I didn't want to talk about WoW specifically today. I wanted to talk about, I recently had a experience at work, which was super. I can't get into too much detail about my workplace because I'm going to talk a lot of shit about them. So because of that, I never really want to mention specifically who I work for. But I work in customer service, partially customer service, I should say. And that results in me dealing with a lot of like annoyed, weird people. But my interaction with them is only like a couple seconds, usually, you know, maybe a minute tops. It's not a big deal. But a new guy started recently, and I was showing him what to do. I don't know why, but they always make someone. I'm not a manager or anything. I'm just fucking worker number 7. You know, I'm just a normal fucking dude. And for some reason, the management always decides to put the like training methods and training responsibilities on just someone who's worked there for a little bit of time. So naturally, while Pips is here today, we'll make him do it. So I've taught a lot of people how to like do the job. And one night, I have to leave, and I leave for a break. It's an hour break, hour lunch break. And when I come back, all hell's broken loose because I left the newbie there by himself, and he just didn't get shit done. Got in a bunch of trouble. Shit, the customers were complaining and stuff. And it was crazy because when I got back, had to like serve and deal with these customers for like, I don't know, probably about 30 minutes. There's a lot of people just waiting there. And the next day I came in and had 1,000 complaints on me. Like, not 1,000 complaints, it's like 2. But specifically one that pissed me off, which was a dude like rang up and claimed, and trust me, the story's going somewhere. This guy rang up and claimed that fucking I said shit like as I was walking away from him. I can't even remember like what the claim was. All I remember was he said shit that wasn't actually true. He just basically called up my workplace and was like, fucking, oh, this guy left this noob there by himself. Also, he called me a fucking cunt under his breath and walked off and took his time and all this shit. Some shit like that. Which naturally I would love to say that shit. I'm not saying I wouldn't want to say that to someone, especially some of the fucking assholes that you gotta deal with when you work in customer service. But I would never say that shit. I'm very good at putting on like a poker face and going in and just completely like it's like a different personality when I'm at work and to when I'm just at home chilling out, fucking doing whatever the fuck, playing WoW, doing videos. I'm a completely different person. I go to work and it's like the most default Pips that you could ever imagine. Like I don't think I smile that much. I just like do my work. I'm like in autopilot 100%, just getting my shit done. And I fucking would never like say something like that. Not because I don't want to, but just because it wouldn't even cross my mind where I'm like that. I would just be fucking out. And I do this every single shift. Every time I go in, it's like I deal with this, I deal with that. I go on my lunch break, I immediately change again to like back to normal Pips, and I'll be messaging Suki and shit and talking. And then as soon as all that's over and I go back to work, I'm back to this like weird sub-self. Which is completely, like, not against the, like, not on topic at all. But let me know if you guys fucking, I don't know if that's a normal thing, like, to completely change your personality based on where you are. Like, that's the only place I do it. I never just change my personality. Like, not even depending who I'm around. I fucking hate people that do that shit, too. There's a couple people out there that I used to be friends with, that I remember them, they'd be completely different based on who was around. Like, they might be alone with me, a couple, like, good school friends I used to hang out with, and be, like, one person, this cool fucking whatever dude, and then as soon as there might be, like, a girl around, or even just another guy that was, like, I guess perceived to be popular, the guy would, like, start trying to shit on me to, like, make himself look better. I had a few friends like that. I immediately fucked them off because I didn't give a shit. You know, like, even the young Pips, I was like, I just CBF dealing with people. One of the main things I do in my life is like, if I have someone who's just annoying me, and even if it's not even just a little bit annoying, if it's just a little bit of faff, just a little bit of like, get out of my life, I'm not gonna deal with you. I've done it to family members before. Not close family members. Well, some people might perceive them as close, but not close to me. And the family member is a lot of faff and a lot of bullshit. I'm just like, fine, I'm just not, like, I know what that is. I don't know what, like, part of me allows me to do that, but I'm just like, I've done it to 2 family members, actually, now that I think about it. I've just been like, you're a lot of faff, and you complain a lot, and you bitch a lot. I'm not dealing with that. I haven't talked to them for, like, I don't know, 5 years or some shit. I do that to multiple people, just because I'm not going to have my life in a situation where I have to deal with people I don't want to. But at work, obviously, you don't have a choice. I'm here to make money. I need to fucking deal with these people. I need to be somewhat nice. So I turn into like a different person. It's also like to save like your ego and your pride as well. Like I don't want to have to be standing around like some asshole being myself, because myself wouldn't do this, you know. I'm in this situation so often where I'm like, man, I just want a zombie apocalypse to happen so I can come down here and just raid this place, murder some people. It's like a fantasy I have. Again, this is why I can't talk about my work, because I'm sitting there talking about murdering people. Jeez, I wouldn't actually murder people. I mean, in a zombie apocalypse I might, but not right now. Jesus Christ. Shit just got out of hand. Just needs to get back on track. My story, where it was heading, was it's super fucked up that when you work in a like customer service sort of situation, that any customer can just ring up and complain and fuck your life. They can fuck your life. Luckily, everyone there knows me fairly well, and I've been working there for I think like 8 months now, so they know like I'm not a fucking asshole that would just be like, hey, go fuck yourself, cunt, to a customer. Like, there's no way I would do that. So luckily my manager kind of agreed that I never did this, and no one really thought that I did it. But it's super fucked because the guy that complained not only to one person, but to like 5 people that worked there when I wasn't there. Like, he's a regular customer, I think. So he'd come in and like fucking be like, oh, that Pips in the fucking place, he's a real asshole. And it's like, the fuck that, I legitimately never did anything to this guy. I've been nothing but nice to the whole, hey, you know, what can I fucking do for your bullshit? Done like the basic customer service, being super nice bullshit, but I usually just default to when I'm at my job. And fucking, that's just like, nope. Dude's just decided for some reason that he needs to like try and ruin my day, and it hasn't worked, luckily for me. But it just makes me super like weirded out by people. Like, I know there's assholes out there, but I can't even imagine being so like such of an asshole and holding such of a grudge that I'd go out of my own way to try and talk shit about a person, which even like takes time out of my own day to do this shit. Like, it's crazy. That's such crazy. Like, there's no perceivable point in time in my life would I ever be like, not only do I have enough time to just go and fucking complain about a guy that's not affecting me in any way, I'm gonna make up some bullshit story about something that might get him in trouble, and then I'll go and tell his like managers and also his fellow workers, just to try and see what happens. And the dude is obviously pissed too. I happened to be there one day when he came in, and I guess he saw that I was still there. I don't know what he was expecting, like expecting me to fire some shit. But I made sure, because the people I work with told me who it was, and I remembered, like, just based on the description, I'm like, yeah, I'm pretty sure I've seen that guy before. And I fucking came in and I served the motherfucker, and he was so upset. And of course, like, I made sure not to be an asshole, because I don't actually give him real stuff to complain about, even though he's clearly been made out to be a liar. I could probably do whatever I wanted to him at this point. No one would believe anything he said. But it's shitty to think, like, if my workplace didn't know me, or at least know my fake persona, like work persona, where I'm really nice to people, they would probably have just agreed with the customer and been like, hey, you shouldn't treat people like this, here's like a warning, blah 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 blah. I've seen it happen before to people, but usually they actually did the thing. It's fucked to me that any just random person can just go and be like, oh, I'm gonna fucking complain about this guy for no reason, and it actually could like affect that dude. It's so fucking rough. It's such like a rough thing. Like, surely as like a workplace or a management, you'd believe that your workers aren't like that. Like, why would you hire them if they're assholes? Like, obviously don't just dismiss what the customer's saying, but it's just fucking weird to me, man. But like, it went like all over the place. That's the weird thing. They never come straight to you. Like that, it didn't even happen for me, and they know me. They never go, oh, we're gonna talk to Pips first and get his side of the story or see what happened. It like went from one person to a manager to another person to like a higher up manager, and then the higher up manager's like, well, what's he like? Would he actually say this kind of stuff? And he goes back down the chain, and then finally someone comes and talks to me and is like, hey, did you say this stuff? And I didn't say shit. Why would you just come and ask me to begin with? It's some shit is fucking whack and stupid. Also, what's whack and stupid, I just got reminded by this fucking bullshit. I got invited to a ZF run. I didn't get invited. The random thing popped. And when it popped, I got into ZF. All the bosses in ZF were killed already. And not only were they all killed already, there was only one alive, which is the boss behind the door up here. That door over there. And when I got in, fucking... the door was just stuck shut. Because I guess the previous group, or the previous people before they left, had decided to not talk to the goblin. And since they didn't talk to the goblin, the door was just still up when I fucking got in here. Which means I couldn't, there's no way to open the door if the goblin, I think they killed the goblin or something. I don't know what happened. There was no goblin, there was no nothing. Motherfuckers be nowhere. And then I was stuck with a 15-minute wait time before I got into a group. Like before I could do anything. If I leave, which I ended up doing, you get a 30-minute like wait time before you can queue up again. So I was like, I'm fucking sitting in there waiting to either re-queue again in 15 minutes, or I can just leave and have a fucking 30-minute cooldown before I can queue for anything. Like, what the fuck, Blizz? Like, why would you even let people come into a dungeon that is literally 90% done? There's one boss. There's one, not even like the lizard boss over there. That was already killed. The motherfuckers must have realized, like, oh, we fucked up. We'll go kill the lizard boss, and then we'll leave. And that's what they did. And then fucking people stayed in the group and invited me afterwards. And then when I got in, like, oh, hey, tank for ZF. So naturally, I'm thinking there's bosses. They need me for shit. I run through the whole fucking instance to find out there's no reason to even be here. And then I have to leave and wait another 30 minutes before queuing. Jesus fucking Christ, Blizzard. Just one of the small things that annoyed the fuck out of me. But other than that, Paladin tanking's actually been going pretty fucking enjoyable. I've had tanks before that I like, and I've actually played, I think, every tank. I played DK tanks, which I'm not that fond of. Never really keen on the old DK. DK is the most amount of characters made for me that I make and then spontaneously and randomly will just delete. Like if I need a character slot and I have a DK, even if the DK is over, say, level, I don't know, like over level, what's the highest I've deleted? I think I've deleted a level 80 DK. That's the highest I've done. The lowest is usually like 65, or I've gotten to the 70, and I just don't feel like an attachment to it because I didn't actually level it the whole way through the fucking. I didn't level it through the whole, like, 1 to 100 or whatever. I just started it at 60, and then did some quick dungeons that got me to 70, and it's like, because I know I can just do it again if I really want to, I had to end up deleting the character. Which is fucked up, because now people can just boost the character 190. I don't know how you're going to get an attachment to that. I saw in Legion, they're going to be having a 100 boost. You can just boost to 100. Demon Hunters are going to start at level 100. Like, that's fucking insane to me. Like, when you think about the size of WoW and the size of, like, the landmass and all that shit, the largest part of the game is not being used for fucking anything. I think that's one of the biggest downfalls for Blizzard right now is none of it's, like, that fucking huge or that manned or populated. You have all these people in their garrisons or in, like, old fucking Outlands or new Outlands, whatever you want to call it. And that's all the localization of all the people is right there. The reason, like, Vanilla and BC was so good is because it still took fucking ages to level. So no matter what level you were, no matter what part of the game you were at, there's going to be a shitload of people just around hanging out because they're at that level. And there's all these people doing this and doing that. Vanilla specifically, even the first expansion, Burning Crusade, it took away a little bit because there's a different landmass now that people are going to. But it didn't matter too much, you know what I mean? It was still long enough to not really change that whole out of the portal landmass to being completely not used anymore. It still had a large player base always. Now, if I go and quest somewhere on my fucking Paladin, like if I went to STV right now, I might see one person, if I'm lucky, as well. I fucking was leveling a Warlock before I started this Paladin, just trying to get my feels back for WoW. And I was level 30, I was in STV. I quested there for maybe 2 hours, and I saw one like player, and it was a level like 100 just flying over my head. And that's the only contact I had with another person. And like it's an MMORPG, I'm meant to be like seeing other players. Like the whole point is a massively multiplayer online role-playing game, and there's no fucking people near me during this level experience. Obviously, endgame is different. There's people all over the fucking place, and you're gonna run into them, and naturally, it's gonna always kind of like go to a point like that where the most of the player base is at that one like kind of end game point. But it sucks that they can't like make this old content, you know, fresh again, or make it actually playable, or actually need to be playable. Like for me back in the day, STV Arena was a fucking hype place. Like holy shit, I'd spend so much time in STV Arena or Goldshire or something like that because there's just a huge amount of people in these places. STV Arena, I'm pretty sure now is one of the deadest places like ever. Like who the fuck goes to STV Arena anymore? Is anyone like maybe for their achievement, and then that's it. They're fucking done. They don't give a fuck about that shit anymore. And I used to be like the main, even when I was at level 20, I'd go and there'd be other level 20s there for whatever reason, and people are checking it out. There's level 19s, twinks trying to get their shit, and all this stuff that just made like a nice kind of rounded amount of people in an area that made it seem like, holy, like this is actually massively multiplayer game. There's people all over the place. Now I sit in like a fucking like major city, not looking at anyone. I press a button, I get joined with 5 randoms that I'm never gonna see again, do a dungeon and leave. And that's like, and the fucked up thing is I'm enjoying it. Like I enjoy the tanking. But if I was DPSing right now, I wouldn't be playing the game because it's just so fucking mind numbing. And it's the whole reason I stopped playing the Warlock, to make a tank. Hopefully I keep tanking. I enjoy it. I'm planning on getting this guy up and doing some end game PvE. But anyway, guys, let me know what you think of the video. That's the end of the dungeon there. I'm gonna go have a shower. I'm actually uploading the first video right now, so I'm probably lagging a little bit. Sorry if the frame rate was a bit shitty in that one. It looks like my frames are a little bit low, which is weird. Anyway, have a good day, guys. I'll see you in the next video. See you guys.